Alright, so let's go to our SFDX project. In this lecture, we're going to be pushing our code to a GitHub repository. But before that, we do that, I want to show you something. Let's open up Visual Studio Code. Now, if we take a look at this .sfdx folder and look, it has all this information about our individual org, and that's usually not a good idea to push that information up into the public, because they can, they can take any information and have access to our stuff. Anything you don't want, any information you don't want public, you shouldn't push to a GitHub org. So what we can do in this case is create something that's called a git ignore file. So let's just ls, and basically what git ignore does is it tells Git to keep certain files outside of source control. Now, we don't even see this when we do ls. What we can do is type the ls command and then type lf, and that'll show us everything in a neat fashion. And see that .sfdx folder? We want to add that to our .gitignore. So what we can do is create our .gitignore. And we can open it with code. So here's our .gitignore file, and what we can do is we can just add this path right here, so this file name right here. So let's just do that .sfdx. So, and then we can save it and exit. Okay. So now that we've added a .gitignore that won't capture some of the config data in there. All right. So now that we've added our gitignore to the project, we can now add git to the actual DX project, and we do that with git init. Now, I already created it, so that's why I'm getting that message, but you should see something that just says git repo created. Now, if we type in git status, we should see all of our files there. Now, what we want to do, and we won't see that .sfdx file in there because it's excluded with the git folder. So let's add everything. So git add dot for everything in the current folder, and then do git status. Okay, now we need to commit this, and let's just say initial commit, and then git status. Perfect. Nothing to commit. Working directory clean. Alright, so now if we create a new repository on GitHub, we can push it somewhere. So let's call this learn SFDX, and then just create it. Don't add any of this, otherwise you'll get an error. So just do create repository and copy this link. Actually, we can just copy these commands. This is what we want to do. We want to first remote add origin, which tells our local Git where to push it remotely. And then the second is to push our commits to origin master. So let's copy that, and we can just paste those commands in. Okay, now if we do git status, alright, perfect. Git push. Everything's already up to date. Excellent. Okay,